We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Haley has the evening off. Topping our news tonight as we head into the holiday weekend, Lido Beach is recovering from the latest storm that left beachgoers with a shrinking shoreline. Some homeowners are now asking that something be done about the erosion there. ABC 7's Kate Flexner joins us live from Lido Beach with a look at the damage. Kate?
Good evening, Scott. We're here on a particularly vulnerable stretch of Lido Beach. Take a look at this. This wall of sand is all that's left behind from Wednesday's storm when waves got dangerously close to nearby homes. Strong winds and waves on Wednesday left beaches cluttered and a few mobile homes damaged. But on Lido Beach, a different kind of damage. The storm washing away an already shrinking shoreline.
We don't have any sand, hardly any sand. It's stones and shells, and every time you walk, you cut your feet.
Now, beachgoers calling for action.
If you don't take it early, it gets worse and takes more money and more time and more effort to fix it.
And homeowners searching for a solution.
It's beyond desperate. The beach has never been this bad.
Paul Robbins has visited Lido Beach since 1976 and lived on the Key since 2010. In the past 10 years, millions have been invested in maintaining the shoreline. But Robbins says despite those efforts, he has slowly watched a vast white sand beach all but disappear.
There was a lot of beach. And I mean, you never even thought about anything like this.
Wednesday's storm left behind a massive wall of sand, brought waves even closer to protective walls, and washed away new turtle nests.
Anytime you have any kind of a storm at all, we're all very nervous here because there is no protection.
But Wednesday's storm was relatively small, and with hurricane season looming, Robbins worries about the potential damage.
We're losing more and more sand, more and more beach. And that's why we need a renourishment so desperately.
As for the sea turtle nest, Mote Marine tells us researchers are still collecting data. Reporting live from Lido Beach, Kate Flexner, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Kate, thank you. New at 5, a no swim advisory issued for a popular beach on the Suncoast has now been lifted. The advisory had been in place for Casperson Beach in Venice, but late this afternoon, officials with the Florida Department of Health in Sarasota County say they received testing results from water in that area. The bacteria levels are now once again at an acceptable level. Advisory signs will be removed. Beachgoers can return to swimming and other water activities at that beach. And if you plan to take a trip away from the Suncoast this holiday weekend, expect to hit some delays. AAA is expecting more than 39 million Americans to travel more than 50 miles for the unofficial start of summer. That's nearly 3% more than last year and the third straight year of increases. But as you travel through Florida, you may not see quite as many state troopers. That's because the Florida Highway Patrol is dealing with a shortage. The agency has reportedly lost 993 troopers to retirement or resignation since 2010. That's about half its workforce. Low pay may be a reason for the high turnover. A starting trooper in Florida makes only about $34,000 a year, which is the same wage it's been in effect since 2005. Over the holiday weekend, however, state troopers will continue to monitor traffic at the new diverging Diamond interchange. The new traffic pattern opened on Sunday afternoon, but there are still some intermittent delays near University Parkway and I-75 as drivers try to maneuver through it. The Diamond inverts traffic lanes, putting drivers on the left side of oncoming traffic. The $74 million project is expected to ease congestion in that busy area. Let's take a look now to see if there are any backups or problems on I-75 at this hour. We are seeing backups during this rush hour with backups in the northbound lanes from Bee Ridge Road north past University Parkway this evening. Another big question on people's minds this holiday weekend, how will the weather be on the Suncoast? ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan joins us now live from Longboat Key, the site of a hurricane seminar right now. Bob?
That's right, Scott. Everyone wonders how the weather's going to be. I tell you, it was outstanding this morning. Beautiful weather out here this afternoon. Nice breeze coming in from the northwest, and temperatures in the mid-80s. Right now, we've moved outside from the meeting. Craig Fugate, the former director of FEMA for the nation, is the keynote speaker. I just gave my little talk here, and we're really talking about the after effects of hurricanes. You know, we've kind of gotten into the people and let them know that the wind is dangerous and the sea is dangerous and the storm surge is dangerous. But what's really coming to play now lately is the after effects when people come come back to clean up and pick up is when people are getting hurt and injured. So there's a lot to be learned about that as well. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But currently it's 84 degrees right now. It's comfortable. We have sunshine and winds are out of the west. You have a nice sea breeze that has kicked in. The pressure actually rising now too, 30.03 inches. And we're in store for a delightful Memorial Day weekend as high pressure will continue to dominate far away from any kind of hurricane or tropical system. A reminder that we will be airing our special, again, Surviving a Hurricane, and you want to tune in for that. That's coming up at June 1st, the start of hurricane season at 7 o'clock on ABC7. Scott, back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you so much. Sarasota police shut down a road for about an hour this afternoon because of a fire. That fire broke out at a Commerce and Warehouse Center on Goodrich Avenue. Around 12:40 this afternoon, firefighters asked police to shut down a stretch of Myrtle Street because crews had to run a hose line from a fire hydrant which was across the street to battle those flames.
If you do see a hose line in the roadway and it's for a fire, please don't run over the hose. That would definitely assist us.
Firefighters were able to put out the fire in about 30 minutes and no one was hurt. There are only a few days left in the school year for Manatee and Sarasota County students, not that they're counting, but a discussion is in the works that could take place next school year as one Sarasota County School Board member concerned. The principal of Pineview School in Osprey announced the school will host a panel discussion on cultural sensitivity in the fall. According to a letter sent to parents, 9th through 11th grade students will hear from a panel about the effects of cultural bias and culturally offensive images and comments. Students and faculty members are working with leaders from the NAACP and Jewish Federation of Sarasota in preparation for that event. But the school board vice chair says the school's inclusive event is also excluding other groups.
And if you look at the organizations that were participating and the ones or some organizations that may not have been participating, I think that it was narrowly focused.
To accept change, we have to embrace change and differences.
The superintendent took action upon learning of the forum, leading to its postponement from last week. Right now, it's unclear if it will definitely happen in the fall, but Pineview's principal expects that discussion to take place then. Tonight, new details on exactly when construction will begin on the Atlanta Braves spring training stadium and facility here on the Suncoast. Just this week, Sarasota County and the West Villages District gave it final approvals to that plan. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley joins us now live in Northport with more details. Christopher?
Good evening, Scott. No time is being wasted on this project. According to the West Villages, by September, we should see some major work beginning.
We have been on a fast track. You know, we're in permitting now from the perspective of doing initial design work.
Even on Friday, you could see the beginnings of work out here on the property that will soon be a baseball stadium.
We confirmed hiring the team of Brassfield Gorey and Willis Smith. Willis Smith is a local contractor to begin the pre-construction work with the design team that have been engaged with the Braves now to design the stadium, the practice fields.
Both companies are getting to work fast. West Village's general manager Marty Black said the companies were only confirmed Thursday night.
They got engaged yesterday. They've already made calls today. So everybody knows it's a short time frame, but everybody's working cooperatively to try to achieve that.
Sarasota County has given their approval and pledged money. Northport has given the go-ahead, but they haven't decided how they're going to contribute the $5 million they promised. They'll either pay it all up front or...
The alternative would be the $300,000 for the next 30 years, which means if you live here in 5, 10, 20 years, you're also contributing to it then.
But that route will also mean they'd pay more in the long term.
If you do the math, $300,000 a year comes out to around $9 million over 30 years, which is the equivalent, they believe, of paying that $5 million today.
All in all, Black has been very serious about getting this stadium up and running by 2019.
I made the contractor get up and said, okay, January 15, 2019, in order to start play in February, and they said, yep, we can do it.
One thing that has to be done now is the requesting of about $20 or so million in state funding. That's funding to come and help this project. According to some of our local lawmakers and the West Villages, they feel relatively confident that they'll get that money. Live in Northport, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you so much, Christopher. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, President Trump meets with important world leaders, the pressing issues that are dominating the G7 summit. And we'll get back to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan live on Longboat Key. He'll look ahead to our holiday weekend forecast. And then later in Health Smart, the full fat option may be the best option, while you may want to reconsider buying reduced fat or skim milk.
The Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio charmed us all and crippled the competition. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Drive into Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota and discover big savings during the Drive and Discover event. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or stop by today and drive away in a 2017 Jeep Cherokee for just $18,999. And for a limited time, get America's best value, a new Dodge Journey for as little as $15,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that. And with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, the air is perfect. Inside. Expect more from your cooling and heating. Daikin.
Alfa Romeo got a lot right with the Giulia, but the handling alone is sufficient reason to get one. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
President Trump is in Italy for the G7 summit. That's a meeting with some of the world's most powerful leaders. It's the last leg of his first foreign trip, but his presence on the world stage has made some headlines, all while the investigation into Russian meddling in last year's presidential election moves forward. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more from Washington.
President Trump is rounding out his first overseas trip with this stop in Italy. This is the president's first G7 summit, all agreeing to do more in order to fight terrorism.
This week, the United Kingdom suffered one of the worst terrorist attacks in our history. It is at moments such as this that we are reminded of the fundamental importance of this unique group of nations.
The president on the world stage basking in high praise early on this trip. But then these headline-grabbing moments got some attention. The president appearing to push aside the prime minister of Montenegro. And then he told NATO leaders to pay up to the military alliance.
NATO members must finally contribute their fair share.
But back in Washington, Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner is in the spotlight. He's not a target in the FBI's investigation into Russia's interference in last year's presidential election, But agents do want to ask him a few questions about his interactions with Russian officials during the campaign and transition. There's something else the FBI is looking into, an attempted overseas cyber attack against the Trump Organization. ABC News has learned the FBI contacted Trump's sons, Don Jr. and Eric, for an emergency meeting in New York with the Bureau's cybersecurity agents and representatives of the CIA. That meeting held the day before Trump fired FBI Director James Comey.
As for the president's trip, it is coming to an end. He and the First Lady head to a dinner tonight hosted by Italy's president, and then Mr. Trump heads back to Washington this weekend. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
As Florida Governor Scott continues to debate whether he'll veto the proposed 2017-2018 state budget, Florida Tax Watch is releasing its list of what it calls budget turkeys. The watchdog group defines a turkey as a legislative project that's placed in the state budget without proper vetting or competitive bidding. This year, Tax Watch found 111 budget items totaling $178 million that qualify as turkeys. The largest single budget turkey is an interstate overpass on I-75 in Pasco County with a price of $15 million. But beyond turkeys, the vice president of Tax Watch says transparency during the 2017 session was also lacking.
We had huge portions of the budget, including the entire Health and Human Services budget, that the differences were negotiated by the Speaker and the President behind closed doors. And the last one
Tax Watch says money saved by vetoing budget turkeys could instead be spent on public schools, Visit Florida, and Enterprise Florida, or to further reduce taxes and add to state reserves. Nice warm day on the Suncoast, very pretty today. What will the weather be like over the holiday weekend? Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan joins us now live from Longboat Key, the site of an informative hurricane conference tonight. Bob?
That's right. We're learning a lot here, too, Scott. We have Craig Fugate, the former director of FEMA for the United States. He's been doing that for the past 8 to 10 years. And he was also, before that, an emergency management director for the entire state of Florida. I had a chance to meet him many years ago. Great guy and has a great message. And joining me now live is Sherilyn Burris, who is the director in the EOC of Manatee County. Sherilyn, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Anytime. Very important that people have meetings and seminars like this here along the Suncoast.
Absolutely. These are neighbors that live together. They're going to go home after this and talk about it. We do this in Manatee County and Sarasota County just to help, leave my office and come out and talk to people. Some people aren't very comfortable with answering or asking questions in a formal environment, and this kind of very casual, laid-back environment gives them the opportunity to feel comfortable and ask questions.
And you used to work with Craig years ago?
I did. My first emergency management job was with the state of Florida, working for Craig. He was talking about some of the disaster deployments that we went on, so it's very neat to see him up here now.
And the message today is basically this, is that we've told people about the wind and the rain and the storm surge, but now we're starting to learn is that they need to be educated about the after effects of hurricanes and how to deal with that.
Right. When we tell you to be self-sufficient after a storm, we kind of fail to mention the fact that includes having that personal insurance, knowing who to call, where are you going to stay. Government assistance is hard to come by and few and far between. So when we say get ready and have your plan, it really is your plan.
Right, and it's important. A lot more people are getting injured and losing their lives. Thank you very much. Appreciate your
Anytime.
time.
Thank you.
And after the storm is through. So we're going to get a little weather. Weather's perfect out here. No hurricanes around at this point, but things are looking pretty good. Let's go to the Van Wezel webcam, show you right across the bay from where we are and from where you guys are right now. We're looking at beautiful conditions out there. The winds and seas are calming down just in time for the big boating weekend, so be careful out there. There'll be a lot of boaters going on, a lot of boating going on as a result of the beautiful weather. On top of that, a 3-day weekend for most. Titan radar not showing any rainfall around here. There's some showers down in Cuba and the Florida Straits with that old frontal boundary. But we're looking at high and dry conditions here as high pressure is built in behind that storm system, and it's looking quite nice. Now, that rain helped out the immediate threat, but not the overall long-range threat. There's still a severe drought going on here along central Florida and along the west coast. You see that graphic really hasn't changed much at all. Of course, we'll get an update next week with the recent rains not included there, but I think it's not going to change all that much. Currently, we have 84 degrees, and the dew point is at 64. Winds are out of the west at 10. The pressure 30.03 inches, and that is high. That continues to rise. We're going to have a comfortable night tonight. Once again, it will be very pleasant through this evening. Tomorrow morning to wake up, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, right around 70 degrees at the area beaches, but still, that humidity will stay rather low. It'll start to pick up, though, tomorrow night and on Sunday morning. So it will be back with a vengeance, I think, by early next week, too. You'll start to feel that humidity a little higher. But it was pleasant today, wasn't it? Winds basically very light tomorrow, as I mentioned, for boating, anywhere from 5 to 10 knots, and then eventually a sea breeze developing in the afternoon. The forecast for Saturday, a little bit warmer. Near the beaches, mid-80s, and then we'll see highs into the upper 80s inland. And the extended forecast is calling for, well, that's not the extended forecast. That's coming up a little bit later. But we are, again, looking at the 7-day forecast showing high temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s and low temperatures in the upper 60s to start things off tomorrow. But then we'll get back into that summer-like condition as early as Sunday. Boating weather, as I said, perfect over the weekend. Be careful out there. Scott, back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you so much. In health news tonight, Alzheimer's deaths are reportedly rising sharply. From 1999 to 2014, death rates from Alzheimer's disease increased almost 55%. That's according to findings published in the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's Morbidity and Mortality Report. An increasing percentage of people with the illness died at home instead of in medical facilities, which is a change from the past. That may be an alarming trend because it likely means the burden is increasing on loved ones serving as home caregivers. A simple drug found in your own pantry is reportedly in short supply at hospitals across the country. Sodium bicarbonate solution, also known as baking soda, is used in many treatments, including chemotherapy, as a poison antidote, and to help patients whose blood has veered into acidic ranges. The nation's two suppliers, Pfizer and Amphastar, are not able to meet medical facilities' demands. Companies can't guarantee more sodium bicarbonate supplies until at least June and maybe not until August in some cases. Well, you may think you're making the healthier choice by choosing skim milk or low-fat cheese, but now there's evidence that full-fat dairy might be the better option for some. The fat actually helps you stay full longer, so you might not eat as much the rest of the day. Studies also show that the fat can slow the body's absorption of sugar, helping lower the risk of diabetes. Also, certain full-fat yogurts may be the better pick than low-fat yogurts that have added sugar to enhance the taste. But if you're already consuming a lot of saturated fats, such as those in red meat, you may want to opt for the reduced fat dairy products. Coming up, the search for an escaped prisoner, how the inmate was able to get away from guards. Plus, panic inside a Publix grocery store. A fireworks prank could lead to serious arson charges for 2 men. We'll have those stories right after this.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights. Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is the best overall brand for 2 years running and the most trusted brand for 3 years running, according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Right now, you can lease one of Subaru's most versatile vehicles, the Subaru Crosstrek, for as little as $189 a month, or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Come on in, welcome to our pad. Trust me, folks, you're in for a ride. I'm driving, so relax. Unwind, leave your buckets all behind. Get ready to blow your mind. In Beatsville, don't be shy. Come and make the scene. Catch the crazy party inside. The hipsters here are gone. And dig, man, they're on to something big. Yeah, they're gonna flip your wig in Beatsville. Catch the gig in Beatsville.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Now to a developing story in Minnesota where police are using dogs to try to find an escaped prisoner. James Mitchell was part of a group of inmates that escaped after one of them took control of a van. Officials say the prisoners were being transferred and one of them was able to take the van when it made a stop at the Lino Lakes prison. Lino Lakes, or Lino Lakes, is a minimum and medium security facility. It's not clear what facility the prisoners were coming from or where they were going. Police recovered 5 of the escapees in a nearby town, but Mitchell was able to run away and escape. Mitchell is serving a 10-year sentence for assault. A construction accident in Oakland, California sends 13 workers to the hospital. A fire official says the workers were pouring wet concrete to construct the 2nd floor of a building when part of the building collapsed around them. When emergency responders arrived, they found some workers dangling from scaffolding and others up to their knees in wet concrete. Others were working desperately with shovels to get their co-workers out. No one was seriously hurt, but some were taken to the hospital as a precaution. Now to a crime mystery on a South Florida beach. A Miami federal prosecutor, Baranton Wisenat Jr., was found dead on Hollywood Beach on Wednesday. The 33-year-old had a gunshot wound to the head. He worked with the Major Crimes Unit of the U.S. Attorney's Office. At the time of his death, he was working on a visa and passport fraud cases. Loud bangs and thick black smoke caused panic at an Atlanta grocery store. Firefighters say 2 young men ignited a stand filled with fireworks at a Publix store. The store's sprinkler system doused the explosion. Everyone was able to get out safely, but 1 woman and 2 children had to be taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. If the 2 men responsible are found, authorities say they will be charged with arson. While visiting Scotland for the first time, former President Obama takes some time to hit the links. They've got some pretty good courses there. Former president stopped by the famous St. Andrews Golf Club today in Edinburgh. We're told he wasn't too thrilled about his game today, but he did take a break to chat and shake hands with people who gathered to watch. Mr. Obama was visiting Scotland to speak at the Tom Hunter Foundation charity dinner, which benefits children's charities. Still to come in your Suncoast News, repairing and restoring Florida's precious coral reefs. Up next, what scientists with Mote Marine Lab are working on at their new multi-million-dollar center in the Florida Keys.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by 1 on any or all numbers and still win.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small.
I mean, really moves me.
One.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High-performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Today, the air is perfect. Inside. Expect more from your cooling and heating. Daikin.